Hey, and welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to continue off from where we left off with the BP tracker. In this video, we're not really going to do a lot, so it's going to be a very short video. We're just going to add a little bit of script to the event graph by the tracker blueprint just to get things started a bit, and then we'll continue to build on it in later videos. So with that, let's get into this. Okay, so when you open the BP tracker, you usually find three nodes here. The one being the event begin play, another one that I don't remember, and then the event tick. You can delete the last two. The only one we're gonna need is the event begin play, which I had accidentally deleted, so I'm just gonna add that back in. And then from here, we're gonna create two custom events. Custom event. The one we're gonna call apply settings, and the other one, just add another custom event. The other one we're gonna call start sequence. And then these two are gonna be, just move it over to the side. And then by the event begin play, just right click and then search for get player controller. And then from the player controller return value, drag off and say cost to the vehicle player controller, and then just connect these up. And then by the cost to, by the S vehicle player controller, just right click on the pin and then promote to variable. We're doing this so we can gain access to the player controller, because we need to pass over some information from here to there. And then from here, we're gonna drag off from the set and then add the apply settings custom event we just added, as well as the start sequence custom event as well. And with that part is complete. Just drag a box of that, add a comment, and then say get and promote to variable, and just move this a bit out the way. And then we're going to get started on the apply settings. By the apply settings, we're going to go over to the custom settings and then drag in the max laps, and then just get. And then we're also going to drag in the variable which is created for the player controller, and then get that one as well. And then from the player controller, we're going to drag off and say set max laps. So with this now, whatever we define as the max laps over here will then be passed over to the player controller, and then that will be the new max laps for the race. We're going to drag off from the set and then look for the update times function. We're going to call this function, because this is going to be the function that's going to hold the times, the goal times and everything like that over in the function. So we also need to then apply that as well. And then we're gonna, from the player controller, we're gonna look for the start game setup and then connect this. There's no code in the start game setup yet for the player controller. We will add that a little bit later. Just add a redirect node here just to make it look a little bit neater. And then with that, the apply settings is over. Just add a comment on that and then say apply user settings. Then moving over to the start sequence, this one is just going to initialize the checkpoints basically when the race starts. And from here, we're going to drag in the, where is it? Here by checkpoints, on the checkpoint category, we're going to drag in the checkpoints, say get, and then from there, we're going to drag off from the checkpoints and say for each loop. We're going to use for the for each loop, not the for each loop with break, just the for each loop, and then connect these up. And then from the array index, we're going to drag off and say add. We're going to look for the operators add function, and then we're going to add a 1 to this. And then from the array element, we're going to drag off and look for next checkpoint. Oh, sorry. wrong one. Oh, I got the wrong one. We're gonna look for the set next checkpoint, because we need to set the next checkpoint, and then connect that to the execution pin, and then from the add you connect it to the next checkpoint. So this will just make it so that the checkpoints that I added here in the user settings down here, when you add all the checkpoints over here, since they will be added in order, once one checkpoint has been cleared, it will then add one to the checkpoint and then line up the next checkpoint, and that will be then the next checkpoint that the player has to pass through in the order. And then from there we're going to drag in the total checkpoints. I'm going to say get, oh, you're going to hold Alt and then drag in the total checkpoints. Holding Alt will automatically say that the variable you drag in is set to its set option, and then if you hold Control and then drag in the variable, it will then automatically come in as the get option for that, and then just connect these two up here. And then we're going to drag in again, we're going to hold Control and drag in checkpoints again, and then from here we're going to drag off from the checkpoint and say length, because we need to get the length of all the checkpoints, and they're going to connect this up to the total checkpoints, the set value. And then once again from the checkpoint, I'm going to drag off and say get a copy, and then we're going to leave it at 0 because we need to get the first one, and Unreal recognizes 1 as 0. And then from there we're going to call the function activate checkpoint, and then we're going to connect the get to the next checkpoint, and then we're going to drag it, hold Control again, and then once again drag in the checkpoints from there. And then we're going to once again drag off the checkpoint and say for each loop, and then connect these up again. And then from the loop body execution, we're going to drag and say, and then you're going to search for assign checkpoint cleared. Now with this, you will have another event here at the bottom that says checkpoint cleared event. Just drag this over to the side and then connect the executionable, and then we're gonna drag in the level music. Just hold Control, drag in the level music, and then from the level music drag off and then search for play, the audio component, and just stretch things out a bit, and then connect the executables. This will then enable the level music that has been defined to play when the level starts, when you start the race. And then now we're going to go down to the checkpoint cleared event that was added when we assigned the event checkpoint cleared. From here we're going to drag in the left check function and then connect the executionable, and then from the next checkpoint connect that to the checkpoint, and then we're going to drag in the checkpoint sound, hold Control and drag that in, and then we're going to do the same. We're going to look for play audio component and just move this out the way a bit, and then we're going to drag in, hold Control and then drag in the as player controller reference, and then we're going to look for the race complete, the get race complete, and then from here we're gonna hold B and left click to add a branch, connect that up, and then connect the condition, and then from the player controller just move that out of the way. We're gonna search for the move to garage function we added, and then connect this up, and then just add a redirect node. And with that, the code is completed. So from here, with the initialize, it's going to set up all the checkpoints that have been defined in the checkpoint arrays, by the user, and then it's going to pass through everything here. And then once everything's set up and the race begins, it will then play the level music. And then here, once you cleared all the checkpoints, it's going to verify that all the checkpoints have been cleared. And once you actually do clear a checkpoint, it will then play the checkpoint sound. And then once you've completed all the checkpoints, and then it will branch over and then initialize the move to garage event that is by the player controller. So with that, everything is done. If you enjoyed the video, whether you enjoyed it, didn't enjoy it, feel free to drop a comment, let me know. And with that, until the next video.